In my courses, I obviously use different kinds of media to present information. I do a lot of short YouTube videos, readings, handouts that condense the information, but I also like for the students to engage with media themselves. So I might give students, as an example, I might give students who are working on creating public relations campaigns an assignment to distill one of their messages down so focused that they can present it in a single Instagram image. For another class, I might have students photograph design principles or draw concept maps of theories and photograph those. So I try to get the students to contribute media to the course that they can share with the other students.
They should be comfortable using internet and computer, but these additional tools which are more course specific, like in database class, there is a database software. If there is a security class, there are a number of security tools. Some of them may be freely available and some of them we may have in our school. And I also ask them to use discussion forums. I also ask them to use the social networking sites, and I also ask them to use YouTube. And some of these tools which I make them to use it, the purpose is also said that these tools have become a norm in the working environment in businesses. So they should know how to use it, how to post their messages, or how to use YouTube channels to communicate with their peer groups. So I make them to use as much as possible as all the latest best practices tools which are available in the market. I try to make them as part of my course itself. So not only I use it, but I make them to use it so that we all become part of it, knowing that the technology has become part of our life, and many of those tools they have to use on day-to-day basis for their business, for their work.
I use different types of media in my course, mostly to keep the students somewhat entertained, because when you can't use your personality necessarily to keep them entertained like you would in a face-to-face course, I've found that doing a variety of media kind of helps make up that deficit. So for example, I might have them watch a YouTube video. I might even have them watch something that's free online. My students watch a lot of PBS videos because I teach environmental planning, and there's always really good documentary style videos that they can watch on PBS. I will even, in a couple courses, have students watch videos that they can get through Netflix or they can rent from the library, for example. And that seems to teach them a lot. At the same time, it doesn't make them feel like they're being lectured to. They don't feel like it's busy work. And I also try to actually record other people. From time to time, I'll have other professionals come. I have software on my computer that not only I can record my own lectures, but I will have guest experts, and that way I can reuse those videos, which is really nice as well. So I don't have to keep asking people year after year to come back and lecture for me. Sometimes people would come from Evansville or Chicago, and you don't want to ask people to do that every year. So I'll have them record something. I put them in my office and let them talk, so they don't feel like they have to put on a show for me. They talk, over their slides as they do in a normal course, but I'm just recording it on the computer, and then I'll put it on Blackboard so that the students can watch it and treat it like any other lecture. So I try to do a variety of things to mix it up.
In my multicultural course, however, I rely a lot on examples that are coming from, say, YouTube. It's a fantastic resource to use, easy to provide those links for our students to go on and look at examples of cross-racial interactions, to critique those, to evaluate those, and to also try and find examples of that in their everyday life.
I would say the main bit of media besides print that students view in my courses are short videos that I construct about the material. And by short, I mean 5-minute videos. And to construct these, I used screen capturing software and a Bamboo tablet where I could write things. So students accessing these videos, they would see a slide, they would see my picture speaking, where I'm speaking to them. They would see me writing over the top of these slides. And constructing these videos was a challenging thing and an enlightening thing, actually, because when you teach an on-ground class, you have 50 minutes, you have an hour and 15 minutes, say, where you can walk in and talk with people, but when it comes down to a 5-minute video, you're thinking to yourself in advance, okay, what is it that I really need to say to them in 5 minutes that will convey something important about this material that they will not see or that they might find difficult to learn from the print material?
The use of media in an online course is absolutely, I think, essential. Our students today are engaged in 21st century ways of communicating and understanding, and that's really seeped in our use of media. So to exclude it from an online environment really sort of diminishes their ways of learning and understanding. So YouTube, like I said, is a wonderful way. Video, use of Facebook, use of web-based media is also wonderful ways for us to include media in our in all of our instruction.
The media that I like to use primarily was YouTube, my media site, and also iTunes. Because of the nature of it being a music history class, YouTube was fascinating. I was able to find some really old video clips from probably the 1920s and 1930s. I also liked to use the My Media site for the videos. There are several videos in Bracken that I was able to have uploaded for my students to view. And then I also, because of it being a music history class, they had to have access to iTunes or Spotify